What is happening in Ukraine? Is a proxy war underway, or is Russia pulling its troops back? In the last 24 hours, tensions have increased. Reports say 190,000 Russian troops have now surrounded Ukraine. The shelling in eastern Ukraine has not stopped, and Russia seems to be escalating tensions, this time with a nuclear provocation. Also, more videos are coming out of Donbas. This is the Stanitsia Luhanska town. A kindergarten was targeted here yesterday. Bombs have now reached homes. One eyewitness captured this. Soon enough, one of the shells fell on a house. A man was seen desperately trying to put out the fire. Ukraine says it has recorded 60 ceasefire violations in 24 hours, 60. Who is behind the shelling? Ukraine is blaming Russian separatists. One soldier is injured. Kiev claims a city was targeted by tanks.
You are already aware that the enemy has shelled Ukrainian territories with heavy artillery banned by Minsk agreements. Civilian infrastructure at Stanitsia Luhanska was damaged. At least 2 people were hurt. In Marinka, 1 civilian and 1 serviceman have been injured. Troitsky came under fire from a tank.
As the shelling continues, Russian-backed separatists have ordered an evacuation. They want people living in Donetsk to move to Russia. Separatists say Moscow has agreed to provide accommodation to those who leave, and women, children and the elderly should be evacuated first. Why is this significant? Because these separatists say that Ukraine is preparing to launch an offensive.
The president of Ukraine, Volodymyr Zelensky, in the near future, will give the order for his soldiers to go on the offensive. Temporary escape will protect your life and health, and that of your relatives.
As if on cue, the Russian president also issued a statement. He referred to eastern Ukraine and said the situation there is deteriorating.
Right now, we are seeing a deterioration of the situation in Donbas.
Is this the beginning of an invasion? Vladimir Putin is raising the stakes. A massive nuclear drill is being planned for tomorrow. Usually, they happen in October, but this time Moscow has moved up these drills. The Russian president plans to personally oversee this exercise. Belarusian leader Alexander Lukashenko is also invited. Remember, Belarus shares a border with Ukraine, also with Russia, of course, and Russian forces are already conducting drills in Belarus till the 20th. They're within striking distance of Kiev. Lukashenko is a loyal partner for Putin. He has offered to host Russian nukes in the past. Now, Moscow wants to remind the world that it is a nuclear power. Tomorrow's exercise will involve Russia's strategic forces. They will conduct multiple practice launches of intercontinental ballistic missiles and cruise missiles. In the past 2 days, Russia says it has also withdrawn some troops. And throughout, it has maintained that it will not start a war. But Kiev is not taking chances. The Ukrainian forces have launched drills of their own. Helicopters, tanks and ground forces will train for the next 10 days. And although Ukraine denies the possibility of a large-scale Russian invasion, its top ally, the United States, insists that war is imminent. America says Putin must demonstrate that he won't attack.
So let me make this simple. The Russian government can announce today, with no qualification, equivocation, or deflection, that Russia will not invade Ukraine. State it clearly. State it plainly to the world, and then demonstrate it by sending your troops, your tanks, your planes back to their barracks and hangars, and sending your diplomats to the negotiating table.
Earlier, U.S. President Joe Biden spoke and said the threat of a Russian invasion remains, quote-unquote, very high.
How high is the threat of a Russian invasion right now?
It's very high.
Why?
It's very high because they have not moved any of their troops out. They've moved more troops in. Number one. Number two, we have reason to believe that they are engaged in a false flag operation to have an excuse to go in. Every indication we have is they're prepared to go into Ukraine, attack Ukraine.
America's assessments are being mocked. First they said an invasion is imminent. Then they said it would happen on the 16th of February and 50,000 civilians will be killed. Then they said it could happen any day. This has been going on for more than 3 weeks now. Here's the latest from US Intel. It says a Russian invasion could play out in 3 stages. Stage 1, Russia will manufacture a pretext, a violent event. It can be real or fake. This is what the Americans are saying, something that Ukraine will be blamed for. Stage 2 is theatrics, according to them. Moscow will convene emergency meetings. Proclamations will be issued from the Kremlin. They will declare why Russia needs to respond militarily to the so-called crisis. And stage 3 is an attack on Ukraine. Russia will strike Ukraine with bombs. Communications will be jammed. There will be cyber attacks on Ukrainian institutions. This is what the US assessment says. The United Kingdom is going one step further. It says that Vladimir Putin has already made up his mind. He will invade, and Russian false flag operations have begun.
I wish I could give everybody better news about this, but I have to tell you that the picture is continuing to be very grim. And today, as I'm sure you've already picked up, a kindergarten was shelled in what we're taking to be what we know was a false flag operation designed to discredit the Ukrainians, designed to create a pretext, a spurious provocation for Russian action. We fear very much that is the kind of thing we'll see more of over the next few days.
So the West continues to press the panic button and dismiss Russia's claims of a withdrawal. Western leaders have gathered in Munich. It's a 3-day-long security conference that's underway. They call it Davos for Defense. The Munich Security Conference is an annual affair. Needless to say, this time the focus is on Ukraine. They've invited Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, and he's attending. Russia too is invited, but they're not going. And this is a first. Even in 2014, just before Russia annexed Crimea, they participated in the Munich conference. Not this time, though. It shows how deep the divisions have become. Next week, foreign ministers of the US and Russia will meet again. The good part is they're still talking. The bad part is all of this talk is not delivering a solution. Perhaps they should pay heed to what India said at the United Nations Security Council. We must take into account the quote-unquote legitimate security interests of all countries. Any steps that increase tension should be avoided by all sides. WION is now available in your country. Download the app now and get all the news on the move.